So in the last talk, we were discussing about sila. So we said that uh, when one observes sila, the one is resolving to restrain the very gross mental defilements that manifest externally in our physical and verbal actions, such as killing, stealing, cheating, and so on. Okay? Mm. So when we work to restrain these very gross defilements, so we weaken these defilements to some extent. Okay? Mm. And this helps to bring about some degree of calmness and peacefulness within the mind. Okay? Mm. So, however, uh, the more refined defilements still remains. So the mind cannot yet settle down completely and comfortably into the work of meditative development of vipassana insight. So to purify the mind further from this more refined defilements, so we need to meditate and develop samadhi. So only through samadhi uh, can we purify the mind from this more refined defilements. Sila only takes care of the more gross defilements. Some may ask, but we are here, we are vipassana yogis, we practice and we follow the direct vipassana way, vipassana yana. Okay? And it is said that when you follow this vipassana yana, okay, so you do not develop any samadhi, you straight away proceed to develop vipassana. Okay? So how do we answer this? Okay? Now, actually, it's not correct to say that just because you follow vipassana yana, yeah, you do not develop any samadhi at all. Okay? Mm. So what it actually means is that we do not develop the samatha jhanas. Okay? Mm. So samatha jhanas, like the upachara samadhi as well as the appana samadhi. So the absorption jhanas, absorption concentration. The first jhana, second, third, fourth jhana, and so on. Okay? So these are samatha jhanas. And these are the concentration that you develop when you practice samatha. Okay? So this type of concentration we do not develop. Okay? Mm. So, so this is what it means. But it doesn't mean that we do not develop any concentration at all. Okay? So we do need to develop what is called the Khaṇika-samādhi, okay? The momentary concentration. Okay? So because without this Khaṇika-samādhi, you cannot develop insight. Insight, vipassana insight cannot develop without this Khaṇika-samādhi. This is mentioned in the Mahadika, the commentary to the Visuddhimagga. It says, Nahi Khaṇika-samādhivina vipassana sambhavati. Okay, so literally it says, without Khaṇika-samādhi, without momentary concentration, vipassana, insight, cannot be developed. Mhm. Mhm. And so we do need to develop this Khaṇika-samādhi. Okay? Oh, here is important for us to have clear understanding of what is samadhi. Okay? Now, usually samadhi is translated as concentration. Okay? Mm. And yeah, so as translated as concentration. So in our goal-oriented society, so a person is very goal-oriented. You give him a goal, he will pursue the goal obsessively. Okay? So when you tell him about concentration, so he will try very hard to get that concentration. So you focus very obsessively, concentrate his mind very obsessively, and this may lead to stress and tension, okay? Which is not helpful. So, now, so what is samadhi? So you can think of samadhi as the state of mental settledness, mental calmness, okay? Where the mind is purified, free from any mental defilements that tend to destabilize the mind, mental defilements that causes disturbances, turbulence in the mind. Okay? Mm. Yeah. So because the mind is freed from these uh, disturbances, from the mental defilements, so the mind itself becomes calm, peaceful, relaxed. So then is able to settle down onto the object and remain undistracted on the object, remain focused on the object. Mm. Mm. So the state of samadhi, it comes from the purification of the mind from this mental defilements called chitta visuddhi, purity, purification of the mind. Okay? So samadhi comes from purification of the mind from the defilements. It does not arise from obsessively trying to focus, forcing the mind to focus on the object. Okay? So you cannot force the mind into the state of samadhi. Yeah? You only make it worse. You'll be counterproductive. You'll end up with tension, and then the mind cannot settle down. Okay? Mm. Yeah. So you have to work. You want to develop samadhi. You have to work, purify the mind. To remove the mental defilements from the mind. Okay? Mm. So once this defilements is removed from the mind, then automatically the mind settles down, become calm, peaceful, and able to remain focused on the object, undistracted on the object, without being forced. Okay? So that's the state of samadhi. So samadhi comes about when this mental defilements has been overcome. Okay? Yeah. In particular, the defilements that needs to be overcome before the mind can settle down into samadhi is what we call the five hindrances, okay? The pancha nivaranas. Okay? So these are the five mental states that uh, obstruct the clarity of mind. Okay? So they are called hindrances because they obstruct, okay? They prevent the clarity of mind from arising. Okay? So And so what are these five hindrances? So as a yogi, you should know these five hindrances very well. Okay? Because you will encounter it during your practice. Okay? And so you need to be able to recognize them. Yeah? If you do not recognize them, then you will not take steps to overcome them. You just let them carry on. Okay? So first one is the kama chanda, the sensual desires. Okay? So these are all this desire to enjoy seeing, enjoy hearing, smelling, tasting, and so on. To enjoy sensual pleasures. Okay? So when you're here, you're meditating, but you're thinking about all the things that you used to do outside and what you could have enjoyed if you are outside right now, mm, or the food that you eat, or the movies, the music you listen to, even thinking about spending time with your uh, loved ones, your friends, your families. And this is also a kind of enjoyment of sensual pleasures. You think about this thought uh, of enjoying sensual pleasures disturb the mind. Okay? So this is amachanda. Second is the vyapada. That means uh, is ill will. Ill will means literal. Ill will means basically dosa. Okay? So aversion, dislike, anger, irritation, uh, uh, fear. All these are states of dosa. Okay? Mm. So when it arises, of course, it disturbs the mind. Mm. 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 So like when you're noting pain, if you don't note mindfully, then dosa will arise. You don't like the pain, the mind becomes tense. Okay? So it disturbs the mind. Okay? The mind cannot settle down. Okay? You know, pain. Huh? The more you know, the more angry you become. Hmm? So, mm, so Vyapada also disturb the mind. Then what else? Udacha, kukucha, eh? Restlessness and remorse. This one very uh, self-explanatory. Okay? All this wandering mind, restless thoughts, that cause turbulence in the mind, cause the mind to become chaotic. Okay? So the mind cannot settle down. Mm. And remorse also. So, so you have remorse over all the kusala that you have done in the past. Okay, so or even those kusala that you fail to do, or the duties that you're supposed to do and you fail to do it. When you remember this, the remorse may arise. This is also why we observe sila, okay, to prevent remorse from arising. Okay, when you observe sila, you do what you're supposed to do. You refrain from doing what you're not supposed to do. Okay, so it prevents remorse. Okay, mm. Then tina midya, okay? Sloth and torpor. Uh, So this is not just sleepiness. Sleepiness is the more famous one. Okay? All yogis are familiar with. Okay? Besides this also, instead of laziness, not willing to make effort, uh, or even just the mind resisting to make effort. Okay? That is also comes under tina media. Okay? The blurriness of mind also. So then the last one is vichikicha. Vichikicha means doubt, wavering doubt. Okay? So when doubt arises, the mind wavers, it shakes. It cannot settle down. Mm. Uh, what I'm practicing, is this correct or no? Maybe it's correct, maybe it's not. So you waver. Uh, is this the Buddha's teaching? Is this not the Buddha's teaching? Did the Buddha teach vipassana? Does he not teach vipassana? The mind shake, you waver. Uh, uh, so do not know what to do. Okay? So in a worst case scenario, the mind uh, becomes, how to say, like frozen. You do not know how to proceed, confused. Okay? Whether to go forward uh, or to go backwards, you do not know. So there's a wavering doubt. Right? So it's a hindrance to the practice. Okay? So this five hindrances. So when they arise, they causes some disturbances in the mind. They hold back the mind from seeing clearly. They obstruct the clarity of mind. Mm. Mm. So because of the disturbances, the mind is unable to settle down into the state of samadhi. Okay? Mm. So, so we need to put them away before samadhi can arise. Mm. Yeah, so these hindrances, when they arise, they disturb the mind. So, uh, so they are like the wind that blows into a room through a window. So suppose you have there's a room, a dark room, let's say, and so there are windows all around the room. Okay? So, and in the middle of the room, there is a candle burning. The flame is burning. So, mm, so light is coming out from the flame. So in the room also there are many objects. Okay? So when all the windows are open, and then when the wind blows inside, what happened to the candle flame? Becomes unsteady, right? Yeah, when it's unsteady, the light starts to flicker. Okay, so so when it flicker, when the light flickers, you cannot see clearly objects in the room. Because when the light flickers, it's not continuously bright. So one moment is bright, next moment it become dark, and then bright again, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. In this way, you cannot see clearly the objects in the room. Okay? So here, the wind that's blowing into the room is like the hindrances. Okay? So and the candle flame is like our mind. Okay? And the light shining out from the flame is like the light of wisdom. Okay? And the objects in the room can be compared to the meditation objects and nama rupa, the mental physical nature that we are contemplating. Mm. And the windows, they are like sense doors, eye door, ear door, nose door, and so on. Okay? Mm. So, so when all the windows are open, the wind blows, the candle flame flickers. Okay? So it's like when a sense door is open, unguarded, the hindrances will blow in through all the six sense doors. Okay? Then, and then it will affect your mind, just like the wind affect the candle flame. Candle flame becomes unsteady. So when the mind is affected by the hindrances, the mind also becomes unsteady. Okay. So when the mind becomes unsteady, it cannot discern things clearly. Okay. So it's like when the candle flame become unsteady and the light starts to flicker. uh, So you cannot see clearly the objects in the room. Okay. Mm. Now, in order for the flame, the candle flame to be steady, in order for its light not to flicker, what must you do? Uh, You must shut all the windows, shut them tight, so that the wind uh, cannot blow in from the outside. Okay. So once the wind cannot blow in, then inside the room becomes uh, peaceful. The candle flame will remain steady. Its light will not flicker. Okay? When its light does not flicker, it shines brightly, continuously. Then the objects in the room will be illuminated clearly. Okay? Mm. So, so similarly, in order for our mind to be able to discern objects clearly, to discern the nature of the object clearly. Okay? So we must prevent the hindrances from arising in the mind. Okay? So how do we do that? So just like we shut the windows, so we also shut the doors of the senses. Okay? So we shut the door of the senses. Okay? So by doing so, you prevent the hindrances from intruding into the mind to disturb the mind. Right? And then the mind becomes steady. It becomes steady, you can settle down, you can discern nature of the object clearly. Right? Mm. Mm. So, but how? How do you close the doors of the senses? Right? So, how do you close the door of the senses? Put a blindfold on your eyes. Mm. Uh, Plug your ears with earplug. Block your nose. No, I cannot. You cannot close the senses physically. This is not practical. Okay? So, uh, but you can close the senses through mindfulness. Okay? So that means every time uh, when you have an experience through any of the sense doors, make sure that you experience it with mindfulness. Okay? So with mindfulness present, it will restrain that experience. Okay? So through the restraint of mindfulness at the sense doors, prevent the hindrances from arising, from intruding into the mind, to disturb the mind. So effectively, it closes the door to the senses. Mhm. So how do you restrain the experience, the sense experience with mindfulness? So you follow the basic instruction regarding noting of sense experiences. Okay? So when seeing, not seeing, seeing. Yeah? When hearing, not hearing, hearing. When smelling, not smelling, smelling, and so on. Okay? That means you be mindful of each sense experiences that arise. Okay? Mm. So, so you note it with mindfulness, not with this clear, careful awareness, not with this pure awareness that observe each object without getting involved with the object. Okay. So when mindfulness is present uh, in each sense experiences due to its nature, nature of this mindfulness, uh, the mind is restrained, by this mindfulness, restrained from getting involved with the experience, with the object. Okay, so mindfulness uh, prevents, because of the restraint of mindfulness, it prevents the mind from being attracted to the object out of desire. It prevents the mind from being repelled by the object due to aversion. Okay? Mm. So with mindfulness present, the mind just remains steady, detached from the object, detached from the experience, just like a candle flame that is steady, does not flicker. Okay? Mm. So with mindfulness present, the mind is able to simply observe the object without grasping at the object with desire or pushing away the object, running away from it due to aversion. So the mind just remains still, steady, and firm in the bare observation of the object, untouched by it, unaffected by it. Okay? Mm. So in this way, the mind becomes like the candle flame that is still and steady in a room without any wind blowing. So it shines brightly and continuously without flickering. It clearly illuminates everything that it experiences. So yogis should note each present sense experience that arise with mindfulness, uh, so that the door to the senses can be closed to the hindrances. Okay? So, for example, rising, falling. Okay? So, rising, falling is a sense experience. You experience rising, falling through the body door. Mm. So, it's a sense experiences. So, if in the present moment and the rising movement occur, so yogi should immediately be clearly and carefully aware of the rising movement. Okay, so make effort to be with the rising. So tune your whole awareness into the movement. Follow it, flow with it from beginning to the end, continuously. Okay? So with mindfulness present, even as you are noting the rising movement, so mindfulness will restrain the mind so that the mind remain steady only in the bare observation of the rising movement. Okay? So it does nothing else but simply observe it as it is. Okay? So with this mindful restraint, the mind will not also evaluate the object. Oh, this is a good rising, this is a bad rising. Because it evaluate this way, then it leads to likes and dislikes. Okay? I like this rising, I don't like that rising. Okay? So with dislikes and dislikes, the mind will become unstable. You'll be destabilized by the defilements of likes and dislikes. Okay? Mm. So with the restraint of mindfulness, the mind does not evaluate the object. It simply observe it as it is. It remain equanimous towards the object, steady and unaffected by the object. So in this way, is able to observe the object clearly as it is. So by making effort to note, to observe each object that arises continuously, moment to moment, with this restraint of mindfulness. So every moment you prevent the hindrances from arising in the mind. Okay? So in each moment when the hindrances have no chance to arise, the mind remains steady, uh, steady on the object, undisturbed. Okay? Mm. So, so continuously, this steadiness of mind develops moment to moment. The strength of the steadiness of mind develops. Okay? So over time, uh, the mind becomes steadily fixed on the moment to moment stream of the objects that arise. Okay? So the mind remains fixed every moment on each object that arise. Okay? Mm. So mind cannot be distracted away from the stream of object that you are noting moment to moment. Okay? So in this way, samadhi gradually develops. It develops gradually through continuous mindful noting. Okay? Mm. Yeah. That's why you see in the Noble Eightfold Path, in the group of uh, uh, concentration, samadhi kanda, consisting of right effort, right mindfulness, then right concentration. Okay? So Buddha start with right effort, samavayama, then samasati, right mindfulness, then only right concentration. And there's this order. Okay? That means first you make effort. Okay? Make effort to do what? To be mindful. Okay? To note with mindfulness moment to moment. Okay? So, and through this continuous mindfulness, uh, gradually, the mind settle into the state of samadhi. Okay? So first, as a right effort uh, to be to bring up right mindfulness, and from the continuous right mindfulness, right concentration develops. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. So it's from continuous mindful noting that samadhi can develop. Mm. So this is the reason why we keep telling the yogis, instructing you all to note continuously, moment to moment. Mm. This is why we keep telling you that the work of mindful noting must go on continuously throughout the day. From the moment you wake up uh, until you fall asleep at night. And the work of mindful noting must go on continuously through the sitting meditation, walking meditation, through the meditation on daily activities. You must go on relentlessly. Mm. So, and every moment you know, effort, put energy into the noting, so that you can continuously develop the strength of this mindful noting. Right? So I develop continuously, then gradually the hindrances will be cleared away from the mind, and you will not be disturbed by it so much. Okay? The mind will gradually settle down into the state of samadhi. Maybe stop here today.